Hi everyone, this is Group D's case analysis of the evolution of the Dove brand. In this group is PJ, Ashley, Justin, Corey, and myself. In 1930, Unilever was formed by the merger of a UK-based company and a Dutch company, and soon became a manufacturing leader in packaged goods. As Unilever continued to grow, so did their brand numbers. Up until the year 2000, Unilever believed in the strength of diversity and global decentralization. However, in 2000, Unilever had grown so much that it needed a new form of control. Thus, master brands were born. Unilever decided to embark on a restructuring program called the Path to Growth, which ultimately shrunk their brand names from over 1,600 to just over 400 master brands that would serve as umbrella brands for the remaining products. Dove was selected to be one of these master brands and forced Dove to make drastic changes to its marketing plan. From the 1980s to 2000, Dove was a successful brand, advertising itself as a moisturizing bar that didn't dry out your skin, even getting endorsements from physicians and dermatologists. Dove was grossing over $2.5 billion a year in over 80 countries. However, in 2000, Unilever's structural change forced the Dove master brand to absorb on several other Unilever beauty products, giving them the Dove name. No longer could Dove market itself on the functional benefits of its products. They had to rethink their marketing campaign. So, was master branding strategy a good idea or bad? Our group concluded that the strategy was a bit too extreme a shift for Unilever. It forced many brands to absorb products that did not fit well within their marketing strategy or brand. For Dove specifically, they were forced to completely rethink their marketing campaign. Prior to the restructuring, Dove prided itself on projecting honesty and authenticity in its advertising campaigns. Dove was forced to develop a marketing strategy that would encompass all of their new products. While hindsight is 20/20, and we can see that the restructuring led to the creation of a very successful campaign for Real Beauty, the campaign was very risky, and had it not been executed properly, it could have led to the downturn of the Dove brand. These risks will be explored more in the SWOT analysis. In order to execute this campaign properly, Dove did extensive research, relying on the expertise of several psychiatrists and psychotherapists, and surveying over 3,000 women worldwide. What Dove concluded was that only 2% of women described themselves as beautiful. Dove saw this as an issue and used this information to develop a very unique mission statement. Dove decided that in order to be successful and have a lasting impact on the population, they would market a broad definition of beauty and inspire all women to feel beautiful and take care of themselves. This marketing strategy was something that had never been done before. SWOT analysis highlights several hurdles that Dove faced as they implemented the campaign for Real Beauty. Starting with their strengths, we assessed the fact that the campaign was such a novel idea to be a strength. No other companies had promoted an idea or an image in order to advertise a product or a company. Their campaign also addressed a cultural problem, specifically the beauty of all women. They also went out to change the definition of beauty, using real women and showing real results. Finally, was their superior product, an obvious marketing advantage. The fact that the campaign was such a new idea could also be seen as a weakness. If it was not marketed properly, it could have led to the downturn of the Dove brand. With that, Dove was advertising an idea or a mission, not a product. Tied to that is cost. It is hard to justify spending money on advertisements that may not be directly linked to profits. Next is the opportunities. There were many opportunities for this campaign, but the main one was the fact that they were out to shape the way all women see beauty. They also garnered public interaction with interactive billboards and real ads ideas. Finally was the power of YouTube. Dove released several longer ads on YouTube that spread like wildfire and helped to promote their campaign. Lastly were the threats. Dove used several different advertising mediums to hit the target audience, including a Super Bowl commercial. The reception of the campaign from both men and women was threatening, as they were straying away from the traditional beauty advertisements. Reputation was also at stake. Dove was known for having superior products, and they needed to make sure the absorbed products met these standards. Finally, Dove wanted to make sure there was still a sense of aspiration for all women who use their products. They were redefining the idea of beauty and helping women reach their beauty goals.
The Real Beauty campaign was the first of its kind, and it paved the way for the inclusion sizing that we see everywhere from online retailers to television commercials and other ad campaigns. Other brands have attempted campaigns such as this, but were not nearly as successful, and in some cases failed miserably, as shown on the slide with the Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad that went over so horribly last year. While we agree with the strategy of the campaign from the aspect of social media and inclusion, we do believe that Dove shouldn't have totally excluded all of the functional benefits of their products, mainly the medical benefits. The advantages medically are very strong for the product: an effective skin cleanser, a natural moisturizer, and they're anti-allergenic. Many dermatologists recommend Dove products for people who have very sensitive skin.
The nature of these ads caused knee-jerk reactions among consumers. Some argued that Dove was not giving women a look to strive for, and others applauded the fact that Dove was using quote-unquote normal women to promote the product along with self-esteem. Because there were two clear-cut sides, for or against, Dove was left to sit on the sidelines while the public drove the conversation. We are in agreement that Dove's ad celebrates women and promotes positive self-image, but when left up to the public to drive that narrative, there are risks involved. This was especially the case with a recent ad depicting an African-American woman removing a brown shirt to reveal a white woman. Dove claimed they were celebrating equality and diversity with this ad, but when left up to the public to drive that conversation, that hopeful narrative was immediately rejected, and the ad deservedly received extreme criticism and backlash. After the launch of Dove's campaign for Real Beauty, they saw a great deal of attention in the mainstream media. With mentions on Good Morning America, The Today Show, Oprah's Show, and in big-time newspapers, Dove's campaign quickly had the eyes and ears of the population. Our question is, how genuine was the media coverage of this campaign? Plenty of outlets could post a headline-grabbing title to drive ratings, add a political spin to the campaign, or write mean-spirited columns, like Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun did when he referenced, quote, chunky women. To Dove's credit, they did take this controversy head-on and stood by their campaign, but we feel this strategy left the brand too vulnerable. Overall, our team agreed with many of the marketing changes that Unilever implemented in this case study. The campaign for Real Beauty was a revolutionary advertising strategy and started a great national conversation about the definition of true beauty that continues to this day. The campaign was quite successful, with the Dove brand growing by an estimated $1.2 billion over the course of the campaign. Connecting directly with the consumers was a risky move that left the brand vulnerable to the point of view of everyday people, but we think this strategy was ultimately successful because Dove presented a clear mission that people could then amplify. Additionally, we agreed with the creation of the Dove Self-Esteem Fund, where the company showed they were willing to walk the talk. On the other hand, we thought that the Unilever master brand strategy was too extreme and forced several of its most important brands to take on identities that weren't well suited. Dove was forced to abandon its tried and true brand that had been successful for 40 years, de-emphasizing the many functional benefits of Dove that consumers may be searching for. Lastly, we thought that enabling the media to help craft the Dove brand was too risky, since the media often injects their own political views on a story, and this could lead to Dove losing control of the conversation they started. We recommend several steps in the path forward for Dove after the campaign for Real Beauty. First, Dove should continue the Self-Esteem Fund that provides invaluable support for young girls and women throughout the country, and consider partnering with other organizations beyond the Girl Scouts. Next, we think Dove should get back to its roots in promoting the many functional benefits of its products, including the moisturizing remedies for dry skin. Although this quality was originally only famous in its bar soap, Dove should strive to add this capability to all of its products, whether that be shaving cream or skin lotion. Lastly, while the campaign for Real Beauty was a successful advertising campaign, it obviously targeted just women and largely ignored half of the consumers in the market. With Dove entering the men's skincare market through their Men Plus Care product line, they need to increase advertising for male consumers. Recently, Dove was the fourth leading men's deodorant brand in sales in the U.S., so this is an area where the company can see significant market share improvement. Thank you very much for your time.